The Anderson family dinner was in full swing at Le Cirque, Manhattan's most exclusive restaurant. Crystal glasses clinked as New York's elite celebrated my father's 30th year as CEO of Anderson Global Industries, a family legacy I'd supposedly tarnished by walking away from 5 years ago. "Look who finally decided to grace us with her presence," my brother Michael sneered as I took my seat. "The prodigal daughter returns." I smoothed my simple black dress, a custom Chanel piece worth more than Michael's annual salary, not that anyone at the table would recognize it. To them, if it wasn't flashy, it wasn't expensive. "Olivia," Mom's voice dripped with practiced disappointment. "Couldn't you have worn something more appropriate? This is a celebration of the Anderson name." The Anderson name. The same name they claimed I'd dragged through the mud when I refused to take my rightful place in the family company. "I'm dressed fine, Mom," I replied, accepting a glass of wine from my own vineyard in France, though they didn't know that yet. Dad barely glanced up from his conversation with the board members he'd invited. At least she showed up this time. Unlike the shareholders meeting last month. "I was busy," I said simply, checking my phone as another alert came in. My company had just closed another trillion-dollar deal. But they'd find that out soon enough. "Too busy to support your father?" Michael's wife Jessica chimed in, adjusting her ostentatious diamonds. What could possibly be more important than family? If they only knew that while they were planning this self-congratulatory dinner, I'd been orchestrating the largest corporate takeover in history. That their precious Anderson Global Industries was about to become a small subsidiary in my empire. "Speaking of family obligations," Dad's voice carried across the table, "the board and I have been discussing succession plans." Here it came, the real reason they'd insisted I attend tonight. "Michael will be taking over as CEO next month," Dad announced proudly. "It's time for the next generation of Andersons to lead the company." The board members nodded approvingly. Michael puffed up like a peacock. Mom dabbed at fake tears with her monogrammed napkin. "What about Olivia?" someone asked. Dad's face darkened. "Olivia made her choice 5 years ago. She's no longer part of the company's future." "She's barely part of the family's future," Michael added with a smirk. "What are you doing these days, sis? Still playing with your little tech startup?" That little tech startup had just acquired its 100th major corporation this year. Nova Enterprises was about to become the largest technology conglomerate in history. But dinner wasn't quite ready for that revelation. "Something like that," I replied, watching another notification pop up on my phone. The final paperwork had just been filed. Anderson Global Industries was now mine. "You're a disgrace to the Anderson name," Dad suddenly burst out, his facade cracking. "While your brother was learning to lead this company, you were wasting time with computers and coding. You had everything handed to you and you threw it away." The restaurant fell silent. Even the board members looked uncomfortable. "William," Mom hissed, "not here." "No, Margaret, she needs to hear this." Dad's voice rose. "Do you know what it's like having to explain to our friends why my daughter chose to become a nobody? Why she walked away from a billion-dollar company to play entrepreneur?" I checked my watch, 7:58 p.m. Perfect timing. "Actually, Dad," I said calmly, standing up, "I think it's time we discussed the real reason I'm here." "Sit down," he commanded. "You've embarrassed this family enough." "No, Dad. You need to hear this." I nodded to the maitre d', who approached with a tablet. "You all do." "What is this?" Michael demanded. "The future of Anderson Global Industries," I replied, just as every phone at the table buzzed simultaneously. Breaking news alerts flashed across their screens. Nova Enterprises acquires Anderson Global Industries in historic takeover. Dad's face went pale. What is this? That little tech startup you mocked?" I smiled. "It just bought your company. All of it. The board voted an hour ago." "Impossible," Michael sputtered. "The board would never." "The board," one of the members spoke up, "voted unanimously. Nova Enterprises' offer was too good to refuse." But I'm supposed to be CEO next month," Michael's voice cracked. "No, brother dear. You're not." I pulled out my own tablet displaying the new corporate structure. "As of 8 o'clock tonight, I'm the new CEO of Anderson Global Industries. Along with every other company Nova owns." Mom's wine glass slipped from her fingers, shattering on the marble floor. You. Dad whispered, you own everything, I finished for him. That waste of time you mocked? It built the largest technology company in history. Those computer games you laughed at? They're now worth more than Anderson Global has made in its entire existence. The maitre d' approached again. Ms. Anderson, your executive team has arrived. The board meeting begins in 10 minutes. Dad's face turned from pale to ashen. Board meeting. Stat. Your last board meeting as CEO. Don't worry, I'll let you keep an office. A small one. On the first floor. But this was just the beginning. They hadn't even seen my real empire yet. The private dining room had transformed into an impromptu board meeting. The elegant dinner settings were quickly replaced with tablets and corporate documents, while my family sat in stunned silence. Ms. Anderson, my CFO James, entered with a team of executives. The global markets are reacting to the acquisition announcement. Nova's stock is up 47% in after-hours trading. Dad's hands trembled as he watched his life's work being absorbed into my empire. The screens around the room displayed Nova's holdings, hundreds of technology companies, research facilities, and now Anderson Global Industries. Shall we begin the transition briefing? James asked, distributing more tablets. This is ridiculous. Michael stood up, his face red. You can't just walk in here and... Actually, I cut him off, pulling up his performance records. Let's talk about your qualifications to be CEO, shall we? The screens filled with data, Michael's failed projects, covered-up mistakes, and mediocre achievements that Dad had painted as successes. Your last 3 initiatives lost the company $240 million, I pointed out. Dad covered the losses by selling off subsidiaries. Subsidiaries that, ironically, I now own. Mom clutched her pearls, real ones, though soon she wouldn't be able to afford them. Olivia, darling, surely we can discuss this as a family. Like you discussed throwing me out of the family when I started Nova? I raised an eyebrow. Or like you discussed removing me from the Christmas card list when I refused Dad's job offer. The screens shifted to show more of Nova's empire. Quantum computing centers, artificial intelligence labs, aerospace facilities, all built while they thought I was playing entrepreneur. Ms. Anderson, another executive approached. The president's science advisor is on line 1 about the quantum defense project. Michael choked on his wine. The president. Yes, brother dear. While you were playing CEO in Dad's shadow, I was revolutionizing global technology. Those computer games Dad mocked? They're now protecting national security. James pulled up more data. Nova's current valuation just hit $1.2 trillion. Anderson Global's worth approximately 2% of that. Dad's face went from red to white. Trillion. Stat. That waste of time. You ridiculed built something bigger than you ever imagined. Want to see what else your disgrace of a daughter owns? The screens displayed my true empire. Technology companies, research institutions, innovation centers worldwide. Every major technological breakthrough in the past 3 years had come from Nova's labs. Your office, Dad? I continued, enjoying his flinch. The one you're so proud of? It's being converted into Nova's AI research center. Don't worry. We found you a nice cubicle on the first floor. Cubicle, he whispered. Next to Michael, I added. You can watch each other's spectacular fall from grace. Jessica, Michael's wife, tried to salvage something. But our status, our social standing, is now dependent entirely on my goodwill, I finished for her. Those country club memberships you love? I own the clubs. All of them. The luxury stores where you spend Michael's bonuses? My subsidiaries. Even this restaurant. I gestured around. I bought it last month. Mom's perfect makeup couldn't hide her shock. You own Le Cirque? I own every restaurant in Manhattan that matters, I corrected. Along with the buildings they're in. That real estate empire Dad's so proud of? It's not even a footnote in Nova's portfolio. The screens now showed live feeds from Nova facilities worldwide. Thousands of employees, billions in assets, and innovations that were reshaping human civilization. Ms. Anderson, James interrupted, the Mars Colony project needs your approval for the new quantum processors. Mars Colony? Michael's voice cracked. Yes, dear brother. Those silly science fiction dreams you mocked? They're now reality. Nova's building humanity's first off-world settlement. Dad finally found his voice. Why didn't you tell us? Tell you. I laughed softly. Like when I tried to explain my business model at Christmas 3 years ago and you said I was playing pretend CEO? Or when I attempted to discuss my innovations at Easter, and Michael said I should get a real job like adults. The screens showed more breaking news. Nova Enterprises revolutionizes global technology. Olivia Anderson named world's most influential tech leader. Your new positions, I continued, pulling up their employment contracts, will reflect your actual abilities, not your last name. Michael, you'll be reporting to the mailroom supervisor. Dad, you're joining the maintenance team. Maintenance? Dad's voice was barely a whisper. Consider it a lesson in humility, I smiled. Mom, you'll be working in the cafeteria. Those social skills you're so proud of? Put them to use serving lunch to actual successful people. Just then the restaurant's doors opened again. A familiar face walked in. Thomas Chin, Dad's biggest rival. Olivia, he called out warmly. Just sign the merger papers. When do I start as Nova's Global Innovation Director? Dad's legs gave out completely. His arch-nemesis of 30 years was now his daughter's executive. Thomas will be overseeing all technological development, I announced to the stunned room, including whatever's left of Anderson Global's R&D department. The final blow came when my assistant projected one last set of numbers, my personal net worth versus the combined value of every company my family had ever dreamed of owning. But the night wasn't over yet. The real shock was still to come. The night air crackled with tension as my family struggled to process their new reality. But I wasn't finished. The real revelations were about to begin. Ms. Anderson, James announced, the Wall Street Journal is live. Should we proceed with the global announcement? Display it, I commanded. Every screen in the restaurant lit up with my corporate headshot and the headline that would reshape my family's understanding forever. Nova Enterprises CEO Olivia Anderson reveals global tech revolution, world's youngest trillionaire transforms human civilization. Trillionaire. Michael's wife whispered, her designer bracelet suddenly looking very cheap. Actually, James corrected, checking his tablet, with tonight's stock surge, Ms. Anderson's net worth just hit $2.7 trillion. That's more than the GDP of most continents. Mom's perfect posture finally crumbled. But you live in that small apartment. That small apartment is the top 5 floors of Nova Tower, I smiled. The building I bought last year. You know, the one that makes Dad's office look like a storage shed. The screens shifted to show my real estate holdings. Skyscrapers, tech campuses, research facilities spanning the globe. Dad's precious Anderson building was barely visible among them. Speaking of real estate, I continued, pulling up more data, let's discuss your homes. Our homes. Dad's voice trembled. Yes. The mansion you're so proud of? The vacation houses? The private islands? I own them all now. Nova's real estate division acquired them through shell companies last month. You've been my tenants for weeks. Michael stood up, desperation in his eyes. You can't do this. We're family. Family. I laughed softly. Like when you told the board I was mentally unstable for leaving Anderson Global. Or when you spread rumors about my failed career at the country club. The screens displayed board meeting minutes from 5 years ago. Every cruel word, every attempted sabotage, every effort to destroy my reputation. Ms. Anderson, another executive approached. Elon Musk is on line 3 about the Mars collaboration. Elon Musk. Jessica choked. Yes. Those crazy space dreams you mocked at Thanksgiving? They're now humanity's future. Nova's technology is making interplanetary civilization possible. James pulled up the Mars project details, massive colonies, quantum networks, and innovations that made Dad's company look prehistoric. Your office is already being cleared, I informed my father. The quantum computing lab needs the space. Don't worry, we saved your precious golf trophies. They'll look nice in your new cubicle. But my legacy. Dad stammered. Your legacy? I raised an eyebrow. Let's talk about legacies. The screens filled with Nova's achievements. Medical breakthroughs, environmental solutions, technological revolutions. While you were building a company, I was changing the world. Mom tried one last time. Darling, surely we can work something out. Keep this in the family? Like you kept me in the family? I pulled up their social media posts, society page quotes, every public rejection and mockery. You made your choice 5 years ago. Now I'm making mine. The restaurant's doors opened again as more executives entered. Ms. Anderson, the Global Innovation Summit is ready. They're waiting for your keynote. The screens switched to a live feed of the world's most powerful tech leaders, all waiting for my address. My family watched in stunned silence as their disgrace daughter commanded the attention of global pioneers. Oh, and Dad, I added, watching him flinch. Those government contracts you're so proud of? Check who they're really with now. He pulled out his phone with shaking hands, accessing Anderson Global's contracts. His face went ashen as Nova's logo appeared on every document. You control our contracts? I control everything, I corrected. Every project, every deal, every dollar Anderson Global touches now belongs to Nova. To me. Michael, desperate to salvage something, spoke up, but my position, my future. Your future. I smiled coldly. Let me show you your future. I pulled up his new employment contract. You start Monday in the mailroom. 9 a.m. sharp. Don't be late, your supervisor isn't as forgiving as I am. The screens displayed one final set of numbers. The comparison between Nova's daily revenue and Anderson Global's entire history of earnings. The difference was so vast it looked like a typing error. Ms. Anderson, James interrupted, the space station needs your approval for the quantum grid installation. Space station. Mom whispered. His mom. That head in the clouds daughter you dismissed? She's literally among the stars now. Nova's building humanity's first permanent orbital settlement. The final blow came when my assistant distributed new business cards to my family, their new positions clearly listed at the bottom of Nova's corporate hierarchy. Welcome to Nova Enterprises, I announced to their shocked faces. Where success isn't inherited, it's earned. Something you're all about to learn the hard way.